Well, hello everybody, hope you're all doing fantastically well. The playoffs are approaching and wow, what a period of time we find ourselves in. I thought I'd take you on a little bit of a walk with me as I think and talk generally about Leeds United. I know you guys enjoy a little bit of Connor in real life, so here we are. This could be your lunchtime break, it could be your afternoon concoction of Leeds United, it could even be your morning coffee, but Norwich versus Leeds United, Carrow Road. We'll have a little bit of a preview out with a top guest this evening as well. Make sure you're tuning into that one. But I wanted to speak primarily today about what the 49ers are trying to cultivate with Elland Road, but what Elland Road is right now. Now, my interpretation is that they don't expect it to change. They don't want Elland Road's atmosphere to change when they look at building up Elland Road wise. They do not want to get that atmosphere away from the club, and I completely understand that because it's the thing that makes Elland Road great. That's going to be hard to keeping that fan base who historically are hostile and horrible for away teams to come to, and you know, generally as well pick the team up and are able to really cultivate a special unique atmosphere, of which I mentioned the other day. Ellis Platten on the channel said that he's never experienced anywhere else. Obviously he's a Leeds fan, he's a little bit biased, but overall it's a wonderful atmosphere at Elland Road. Now, the reason I'm talking about this is because what the 49ers are trying to keep with Elland Road, it also inhibits Leeds a little bit. And let me get into exactly why it can inhibit Leeds. Leeds United's ground, I've experienced it for Derby, I've experienced it for Millwall, I've experienced it for Carlisle. There's been multiple playoff occasions where I've been to and experienced Elland Road in its finest, but also most nervy. And I was thinking about the Norwich two legs, and I was thinking about, is it an advantage for Leeds United having this away game to start off with? And I don't really know. And I want you to let me know in the comment section below, because Elland Road is a nervous place. I don't think there's many people at this moment in time who have a massive confidence going into this game, going into these two legs. I think we've seen obviously problems with Southampton recently, QPR. We've conceded 6 goals in 2. We've now got a defence who seem easy to break down. And we were speaking last night on the debrief about bringing Liam Cooper back in, because then at least in the midfield, the most important position, you've got Ethan Ampadu. You push him up to the number 6, you may be taking Elia Gruev out. You could go to a midfield 3 as well. There's many things Daniel Farke could do. And this team is so good at this level. And I never want any of you to forget that. I never want any of you to think that this team isn't good enough to get promoted. It's more than good enough. And we've said it throughout. And I think a lot of people have a bit of revisionism on what they did say. And suddenly, because of the position we're in and them wanting to back the manager, there's now fans saying, well, what he said about Sam Morsey and Massimo Luongo and about those players being desired by Daniel Farke. Well, we can't have a good enough squad. We can't have a good enough squad. Well, we do. And why this is really important is because the squad is never going to feel, in my opinion, maybe you've had Glenn Kamara at Rangers in certain European games, but I don't think there is anything like Elland Road in playoffs. I think it can be horrendous. I really can. I remember Millwall in League One. It was awful. Elland Road just was incredible noise-wise, but it also zapped everything when obviously Millwall got that goal. Derby, it went in 1-1. When we conceded that goal between Cooper and Kiko, obviously it all kicked off with Berardi, but Elland Road was so nervous that night that the players felt it. I've had ex-pros who I've spoken to off the record who've also told me that they've never experienced anything like Elland Road in those playoff games. It's completely different. So, do Leeds have an advantage going into this first game away from home? Potentially. But overall, I don't think it matters. I think right now, I firmly believe it might as well be, both games at Carrow Road. I do genuinely believe that. I'm not 100% sure that Elland Road is going to give Leeds an advantage. I don't see it personally. I see it as, they might as well be at two neutral grounds. That's how I feel at this moment in time. Or it might give Norwich a little bit of an advantage. I'm not sure it does with Leeds. And that's the grandeur, the size of the club, the fan base. Stephen Warnock was on the Under the Cosh podcast speaking about how massive Leeds are. It's quite interesting actually, because he specifically referenced how he was talking about Aston Villa, and then he specifically said, by the way, Leeds United are a huge club. Almost how he was talking felt that he was on a different size to Villa, which obviously we know is not true. We are slightly biased, but I've spoken to 2 or 3 players who were within Stephen Warnock's time at Leeds United, who just spoke about the pressure aspect from Leeds fans, the pressure aspect from the stadium, and I think that's a massive thing to take into consideration. So my overarching point is Elland Road a problem? What do you guys think? I think it is in these games. I think the reason Leeds United have never gone up through the playoffs is because Leeds players have pressure. They have pressure to face and to indefinitely overcome. So I think it's going to be a tough one for Leeds, I do, but the players who, a lot of them have barely played more than 35 games per season really in their young careers, a lot of them, they have to harness this, and the experience has to come from the manager, and his coaching staff have been in big games, but I don't think Daniel Farke will have ever experienced anything like this. And this isn't to be overtly negative about Leeds United. This is a rallying call to these Leeds United players to really embrace it. To embrace the fact that Elland Road is what it is, and it can be, if you get it right, an unbelievable positive. They can rally you, they can, and hopefully I'm going to be there. Might not be, but I might be there. Hopefully they'll be able to get Leeds on to that next level. But when it's tense and when the team are a little bit, shall I say, underperforming, as we even saw in 18-19 when it didn't end in the best way, Elland Road can be hugely nervy. But also you saw the Stuart Dallas goal, and it can be absolutely brilliant. But the Derby game is the perfect example of how Elland Road can stifle. You look at how good the home record was that season. It was absolutely fantastic, absolutely unbelievable. But then at the end of the day, Leeds went 2-0 up on aggregate. Things happened in the game, but the nervousness that crept in, it's like no other. It is genuinely like no other. And that's backed up by football players, it's backed up by YouTubers who do it for a living. Elland Road is like no other. So it's a rallying call, this, for all of these players to take it, to embrace it. I know you might get a couple watching these videos. I know for a fact some of them do. It's a rallying call to you lads. Confidence, embrace Elland Road, because this literally can be the best ground in the world if you get it right. And you've been good enough all season, but we need to see it for the next 3 games. What do you guys think? Let me know in the comment section below, and I'll see you this evening.